Hey YouTube, it's Janai. It is July, which means a lot of people are going to be moving in like next month or like the beginning of September. So I thought I would make this video. I kind of touched on this topic in one of my previous videos, but it was really brief, so I thought I was gonna go more into detail this time. I came up with this list from things that I brought and never used, and I asked a few of my friends what they never use, what they think that you don't need. So I'm gonna let you guys know. A lot of people might disagree with some of the things on this list, which is fine. A lot of different schools provide different things. Like, for example, my school, I go to Rutgers, provides the students with a microwave and a fridge and a freezer. But my cousin, who goes to Montclair, her room doesn't come with that. So basically, a lot of different things on this list you may or may not need depending on your living situation. Some people live off campus their first year, so you know, if you live in an apartment, you may need some of the stuff on this list and all that. So let's get started. So first of all, an alarm clock. I'm pretty sure every single phone has an alarm clock on it, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to use an actual physical alarm clock when you have your phone. So I didn't bring an alarm clock. It was not necessary. I had my phone. Some people like to put their alarm clock across the room so that when it rings they have to get up, which makes them get up. So if that's what you want an alarm clock for, then fine. But me personally, I don't think you need an alarm clock. You don't need to bring all your clothes at one time. Unless you're going to school like across the country from like New Jersey to California or something, then maybe. But even in that case, you wouldn't need to bring all your clothes because it's always hot over there. But anyway, you only need to bring like seasonal clothes because most likely you'll go home. So you'll change clothes. Like, you don't need to have your whole summer wardrobe when it's December. You know, you'll probably go home for winter break, and then that's when you bring your other clothes when you come back. So you don't need to bring all your clothes. Just, you know, it'll just take up a bunch of space, and you'll just have a bunch of clothes that you're not wearing anytime soon. Like, it was like April or May, and I still had all my sweaters and my boots, and it was just taking up way too much space. Don't bring all your clothes. Okay, you know, kind of tied with that, you don't need to bring, this is for the girls, you don't need to bring all your heels. Like me, I brought everything. I brought all my heels, all my clothes, everything. You don't really need all your heels. Like, maybe a few pairs, like a professional pair, like a plain black pair in case you have to dress like businessy, or if you have to go somewhere. But basically, you don't need all your heels and your stilettos and pumps with all the different rhinestones. No, you don't need that. You're never gonna wear them. They're just gonna take up space. Maybe a few pairs for days you need to dress up, but other than that, you don't need all your heels. Okay, I don't think you need to bring appliances like a Keurig coffee maker or like a blender or like a toaster and stuff like that. I mean, if you want to, you can. It's not necessary. If you're the type of person who drinks a smoothie every morning, then fine, bring your blender. But like things like a toaster, like they have that stuff in the dining hall. Like they have, you can get that. You don't need to have that in your room. Once again, it's taking up space. Your dorm room is not that big. You don't need a bunch of these things that are just gonna take up space, especially when they're available elsewhere. Which leads to my next point. I don't think you need a printer. Printers are accessible like everywhere. Some people have them in their lounges of their dorm buildings. They're in like every library. Printers are literally everywhere. It's just gonna be a waste of money to buy a printer and then keep buying paper and ink for it when at my school they only charge like, I think, 4 cents per page that you print. Like, it's so much cheaper to just not bring a printer and just use the printers that are provided. But if you're too lazy to go all the way to the library or downstairs to your lounge, then bring a printer. But I don't think it's necessary. I don't think you need excessive decorations. Like, you might want some, okay, how about this? You could, I think it's best to bring decorations that aren't in the way. So if you want to get like those wall sticker thingies, then those are fine. Or I had some lights that hung like on the wall. Those are fine. But all the stuff that sits on your desk and all around your room, stuff like that. Like I had a big chair, like some plush kind of chair, and I had like a giant teddy bear. Those were just taking up space. You don't need those. So the stuff that's not in the way, cool. The stuff that's going to take up space, not cool. Next, I don't think you need to bring non-disposable utensils. Like I brought bowls and spoons, cups, stuff like that. And when I used them, I had to wash them. And the problem wasn't washing them. I just found it easier when I bought styrofoam plates and bowls and plastic utensils and stuff like that. I just think I would recommend you getting the plastics and the disposable utensils and stuff as opposed to the non-disposable ones. This one might sound a bit odd, like why wouldn't I get this? But you actually don't need every single book for all of your classes. Some classes are textbook classes, like a class like calculus. I would recommend getting your textbook for, because you may not understand everything in class, and going back in the textbook, like math is math. There's pretty much a standard way to do it, and you know, if you didn't understand, you go back in the textbook. But some classes you really don't need textbooks for. Like my psychology class, I didn't really use the textbook, because a lot of classes, all the stuff that's going to be on the exams and stuff like that is what the professor lectures. So really, you just go to class, listen. You can take notes. I didn't really take many notes, but that was me. I found that when I was taking notes, I wasn't really listening. So anyway, yeah, just some classes you just pay attention in class, and the book turns out to be a waste of money. Like there are plenty of books that I've bought and didn't even use. Big waste of money. Okay, an iron. You can bring an iron, but I know some people who didn't bring an iron at all, and me on the other hand, I brought my iron. I only used it like 2 or 3 times the whole school year, because I had to dress professionally and I wanted to make sure my shirt wasn't wrinkled and stuff like that. But really, if you wash your clothes and as soon as you dry them, you fold them and hang them up or whatever, you really don't need an iron. But you really don't need an iron. I mean, you can bring one just in case, just to be safe. You don't want to look wrinkly, but you don't need an iron. Okay, so this one I think takes up a lot of space, but pillows and stuffed animals. I know a lot of people keep a lot of things on their bed, like a lot of stuffed animals. Me, I keep a lot of pillows on my bed, 8 pillows for just me. So I brought a lot of pillows to school. I think I had 6 pillows on the twin size bed, and the pillows took up like half my bed. So I would go to bed and I would put like most of my pillows on my chair that I just told you that I never used. So I would put all the pillows aside, and basically all those pillows just took up a whole bunch of space. I did not need all those pillows, but yeah. Okay, also, I don't really think you need a vacuum. I mean, if you have carpet, I don't think you need a vacuum, unless you want a vacuum, but I don't think you need a vacuum. Like my room had carpet, but I didn't vacuum. Like, okay, my roommate, she lived about 20 minutes away, so if we ever needed to vacuum, she could have just brought a vacuum, but neither one of us brought a vacuum. My friends, they had hardwood, so they had brooms and stuff, so obviously for hardwood you don't need a vacuum, but I didn't have a vacuum. Some people have the little vacuum that's not electric, like you don't plug it in, it just, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a non-electric vacuum, but anyway, you could bring one of those, but I didn't. And then there were a lot of cleaning supplies I didn't use. Like I brought a lot of Lysol wipes, and I brought a lot of Windex and stuff like that. I didn't use any of that cleaning stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of cleaning stuff that I didn't use actually. I brought a lot of extra things, like I brought extra toothpaste, I brought a whole bunch of toilet tissue, I brought a whole bunch of paper towels. I didn't finish any of that. Like I brought like a whole pack of toilet tissue. I used about a half a roll the whole year, because there was always toilet tissue in the bathroom except on the weekends sometimes, so that was the only time I used tissue when there was no tissue in the bathroom. So a lot of extra stuff, like don't buy a lot of extra stuff. Maybe like one more extra thing. Like I had like 3 bottles of Listerine for no reason. I still haven't finished it, and the year's over, and so is the summer. Like the summer's halfway over, I still haven't finished it. But you could buy maybe like one extra thing, but don't bring a whole bunch of extra things, because then you'll end up with a whole bunch of extra stuff. Okay, so another thing that you guys might say, like, oh, why wouldn't you need that, is a bunch of notebooks and binders and stuff like that. I took most of my notes on, well, when I did take notes, but I took most of them on my laptop or sometimes my iPad, because I don't like carrying around my laptop. So I never really wrote. Like I wrote when some classes you can't have a laptop, so I wrote in those. I wrote for like writing class. I wrote when there were diagrams, like in economics, the different diagrams, biology, stuff like that. But other than that, you don't need like a whole bunch of notebooks, a whole bunch of binders, because you're not really going to use paper. Like a lot of the stuff you, a lot of the work you do, you'll submit it online and stuff like that. A lot of classes post their PowerPoints or their presentations online, so you may not even need to draw the diagrams. Like you may be able to just go look on the teachers, I don't know what other schools call it, but Rutgers uses like Sakai and stuff on their page, and look up the diagrams. But anyway, I didn't use a lot of notebooks. I used my notebook for writing class, and then I had another notebook that had all my notes, all my other notes in it. And that might sound disorganized, but I took such a little bit of notes on paper that it wasn't. But I just don't think you need a whole lot of notebooks and paper and binders and folders and stuff like that, because a lot of teachers don't even give you paper. Like they'll email you or they'll post it to their page or stuff like that. So I like, just a lot of paper is not even really used. Like sometimes I didn't even have a pencil. I had my laptop or my iPad, and I paid attention. You can even you're allowed to, well, most classes you're allowed to record, like with your phone, your voice recorder, you're allowed to record your professor. So yeah, anyway, that was my list of things that I don't think you need to bring to college, or that I didn't bring, or that my friends didn't use or need. A lot of stuff on this list, I know you guys are probably like, I definitely need to bring this, or I would definitely use this, which is fine. And then other stuff is like, oh, like you also don't need this. So if there's something that you think that you also don't need, then you can comment it. If I think of anything else between the time that I finish this video and when I post it, I will add it in the description box. But right now, those are just a few of the things that I don't think are 100% necessary to bring. Like a lot of that stuff is on the list, and I think it's just a big waste of space. Like there was like a whole bin in my room full of stuff that I didn't use. So like, yeah, like I had a whole bunch of extra hangers and all this other types of stuff. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was informative, and hopefully, you know, hopefully you have a lot of extra space because you don't bring all the things that you don't need. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.